Okay. Hello guys, welcome back to the Four Post Podcast. This one, we are going from Saudi Arabia to England and then to Africa. Say a continent in India now, but still don't forget to subscribe to the end. Now shall be like it, no subscribe, not turn on post notification. Feel free also and let us know your thoughts in the comment section also over there. I have the gentleman here with me. Ebia botai, ebia shatare some more kwaware. Ebia see a fresh boy some. So I have Michael Akomeah here with me. Akomeah, say Bia Boko.
Oh Charlie, Bia Boko, good to see you. My brother, Kwanzaa, the whole world to Kwanzaa.
Yes. It's good to see me, but maybe you'll be in Jiso Behumi, right?
Why?
Chairman.
What's it?
Bia Boko, we need Jiso Behumi, Anna.
Yeah. Some small boy.
Charlie, this boy, what did they do for Accra there?
My training was Rabo Moody.
Why there?
Because we are training my brother.
Me na me yada no pa, but when you castle training, we have many doubts.
Oh, forget Roba.
Many doubts, but you know introduce your man.
Say if you pay for Accra.
Senior man.
Senior man, I beg for introduce your body.
My name is Sapon.
Sapon. J. Sapon.
No, Sapon Asirifi.
Who can pay for you?
Sapon what?
Asirifi. Yeah, they went 2 pennies.
A fanti.
No, Ashanti.
Ashanti, Asirifi.
Yeah, Asirifi, not Asirifi.
Okay.
But Asirifi, what team they support?
Real Madrid.
So what's the day there you make happy?
Crack.
No. You make happy. You sure?
I'm not who says Xabi Alonso. I never want to be who's on track. You're loose there. It's me happy. It's my performance. You're on track. You're on studio.
Because me won't track the biao.
Oh, you have a church was here on track.
Hey.
I have a church was
here
on
track too.
Is it a track? Oh,
but no. What's so free for Gaza?
Me free. If you just score.
If you just score.
I the bone if you just yana.
The boss I don't know. The mutre
na.
A question. They also if you just score for
who say yeah.
A Fiifi.
Sapon who say score if you just score on from Lakum.
How from say?
Lakum.
Edian.
And not to be that. Thank God Dr. Kiki is not
lack on me.
I can break it down with you.
Said lack on me. Uze isu na efi bia we open ibu ototo mafodi. Me de no de ma no. Ofre me lack on ti na ehudi. Ba me wan guy bi won ma huru mi an ha me. O ka masima na.
Na ye dey ankasa, we dey ankasa.
Oh, we school last year Commander College of Education.
Commander?
College of Education.
Cape Coast Takrady Road.
Okay, Kako Kromo.
Kwanza. Sa Commander School of Education. Catch us 93 ho. Ebra baby o mu station no wo so ba be fa car.
That's one TV nanti.
Ha chairman.
This is be our full kada call station.
I don't know.
Charlie Akomeah ga.
Chairman, oni baby a
Akomeah wa bre. But Fiifi, the classic in the first place.
I beg. Classical, they start with Madrid fan.
Madrid fan busy classic.
Madrid fan for them to was say.
Ultimate to Madrid no.
Intimi to nyina. Where say intimi nyina.
Aba so intimi to nyina, aba intimi to bi.
But sincerely
Madrid fan. Madrid fan part there. You can't come
here and tell us
to start now.
Baby, I'm always same situation there. I am to
I know situation.
I
am just saying to make a can one seven. I walk camera into my
that's all to was.
Well, I was what you tsunami.
But
Sapon now I'm referring.
Okay, Sapon. And Ramulo sweet game, right?
Yeah.
But then Osho, and what are some of the positives? So who also Alonso
on track.
Yo,
okay. So yenchia I rephone at you. Money must be church in as the cinema on shoot too much. See, who's the cinema was all yeah, as a Miss Okay, so I think say Enra El Clasico no. One of the best El Clasico Amashe from last season, ABCD season. Okay. One of the best games Enra you written say. Enra game no will be defined by two words: moments and individual brilliance. And on that, I mean who difference between Real Madrid and Barcelona.
Okay.
I want say Real Madrid fans now criticize Xabi Alonso when he approach na or the room Enra game no against FC Barcelona. But I think say Barcelona and the only team say omukutomu full squad you will need the two types of pressing also using the game and sana boy mo team continue omo akusi 90 minutes. That is judging pressing and intelligent pressing. And then Mavo Pina Case Xabi Alonso first air classic na born La Liga no that's first league in Santiago Bernabeu when the near approach no the coin no then will be a face or the same approach na ebe de ebeko but Mavo Pina revisit that approach no the coin na Barcelona were playing without Rafinha and Rafinha one of guys so ba this Barcelona setup or the difference ba and then no say Real Madrid for the same approach na the PM of first leg was Santiago Bernabeu na koya at least say results na no ayehu no eno kran ka wait match be 5 because at a point in time you shall say you press on you see say omo nya space is in to a place na chi ema omo utilizing here as say results na nya na 3-2 no kenya sa ke be different so I say the approach you know obe find a problem with it how Real Madrid for defend from the start of the match e ko see awie no o Real Madrid fan now sha unfeel comfortable ko me say match na be pon because at a point in time na me hear me force na be say me jare because pressure na no den you defend it from minute 1 to minute 90 but I think say any the best approach na be say Xabi Alonso with how steady Hansi Flick team you know with Rafinha no I think say na the best approach to use you might have problem with the approach but I think say eno na a boy the entire maker say me say Xabi Alonso on track no ade baako who say from the start of the season Orban no making it clear say or that manager na ohia say ni place ni be press full 90 na da bia ya nya possession ni possess the ball but after beating Barcelona was Santiago Bernabeu yeah right ana enkomo sha say ba say players no say omo press mo na omo penisa nti o say o adjust na ho to the players ne kan and sana how person Real Madrid football no abo nti edu ba bi no un say Real Madrid for yen press right e press space there chi na omo punish nti edu ba bi me kra me ka say Alonso ye be sack no yen sack the entire make say now what two players now say from their perspective now I feel now all adjust players no for them to understand say now modern football but be evolve we need to adjust to the modern football near press because Real Madrid players no and Real Madrid as a team I'm a players now is superior than the managers in say oba be ya dey na say players in who say emo I think say on be sorry atia with how be so approach games no and omo how on beso bobo na man unhu ni sa but my read books and managers na chire pie na ati say Carlo Ancelotti book am read here ati say e be chire me nsemi am make am e ne book a otun quiet leadership he make emphasis on different factors he was talking about balancing and or can say me see too much structure kills creativity but too much creativity but too much structure just kills creativity in players. Your person change said now football na evolve about be do bia now football na is structured. Enti unhia that creativity in players in the match and sana ma team na win. Na imom unhia say players me follow straight to structure no na mo win. Enti eni ebe ha many years o ma fa team say win me brebe nyina na many years omo structure na esa da players no so no necessarily say players in creativity never be bibia team no so I think say Alonso buy na Real Madrid culture and no philosophy en kasa anchere say e was say team no e rely solely structured na dey obibi name on players no rely on their creativity and no individual brain no dey bibia am Real Madrid am win matches but baby a football na evolve na baby managers na do na managers na tactical managers tactical ne wo hwe ye system na ne abepie mo na more managers now or more winning no tactical astute managers you can make mention of Pep Guardiola Thomas Tuchel Bebo bom munya tactical astute managers omo rely solely on players in some form creativity no and maybe name more structure no and enya adwuma players no and na Alonso ebe find him to a system and as institutional omo ne de omo players no individual brilliance no me bibi nti afi na oba no ba be sesaniema ama players na abeti ase na football ba wi abedu no se be gina player bi ono kwa individual brilliance na say players for be individual brilliance so dey bibi dia emoye ne mu structure nti afi na players no e adapt to Alonso's system. It will take time. But then and then after say players need year two, so me press some. It was a remember for pressing. I go be ho. Yan press previous match and say boy classic match see. We see press, but say per them na me hu. I think say players now. Alonso as from the perspective, but it will take time. Alonso Juma they be difficult man. We quite the munketwa. Obe lusu be be na. But I think say moment the time now assurance I want to say obe tima ba no ba be deliver. So now you do see there, but I think say now me conference with the approach now and the Real Madrid performance.
The most popular phrase among Real Madrid fans say it will take time.
It will take time. Yeah.
It will take time. It will take time. You want to go for you several, but then take time and realize it and near coach, you know. But Fiifi, you mentioned individual brilliance and then how tactical some of the coaches were. Do you think the game was decided by the brilliance of the players or the coaches and both?
I think that yesterday was just a combination of how Barcelona have come of age and also wrong approach for me. Many Sapo Nyadrin because I don't think that was a right approach from Xabi Alonso. Why do I say that? If you have already or centre backs no problem in terms of absenteeism, you don't have Rudiger, you don't have even Alabakar did not start, but most of the starting centre backs, Dean Heitzen and then Raul Asensio started, and in that you pull Orange Chimeni to come and form a back three of a sort. And once you bring Orange Chimeni as part of the back three, then you want to make sure that you have Federico Valverde not playing as a right back. I think he wants you to think like this. You want to play Federico Valverde as a right back. It definitely doesn't help. It affects the team. So that was one that I think that the approach of Xabi Alonso was wrong with respect to personnel on the field of play even before any other thing. For me, that was the first thing that was wrong. Why? Because it means that you lose an extra leg in the middle of the pack. Federico Valverde plays outward. Orange Chimeni plays in centre back. You've left Eduardo Camavinga, who is essentially a box-to-box midfielder, to chase shadows. And on a day where Pedri and then Frankie de Jong are on a good job, only a few people can stop them. Again, I think that the very first thing that you need to be able to get results against them is to be more intense than them. Yeah. If you allow Barca to have time on the ball, space on the ball, and then dictate the pace of the game for you and slow it down and play it as if Pedri is in his room, no control ball, and you'll be in trouble. And it's like that's when you play against teams with a lot of technical players. That is the reason why for all the days of Enzo Maresca, two of the biggest games that he had played with technical players, he had to make sure he played with very, very physical players. No, but Enzo Maresca can coach a ball with Paris Saint-Germain and Barcelona. No, Asema, Yansaki Enzo Maresca. Amorim Yansaki. Yansaki Enzo Maresca. Yansaki Enzo Maresca.
One thing I don't understand is every little team be Enzo Maresca. Every little team be Enzo Maresca.
But me, they pick my examples. They can't tell me where me can go pick example.
Okay, I hear.
How many coaches then play plus Hansi Flake for the Champions League? We then play like how Maresca play plus.
You are the back. Sorry, sir. Simone Inzaghi dey by the back.
Simone Inzaghi
dey by the back. Not this season matter we dey talk about.
Eh, we dey talk this season.
But you agree.
You don't get example.
You continue.
Anything where bro. But yeah, I mean, if you are playing with Barcelona, you need to be aggressive. If you are playing with PSG and you have Vitinha, João Neves, Fabian Ruiz, you need to be aggressive on them. If you allow them space and time, they'll dictate the pace of the game and they'll hurt you. In fact, it's the reason why if Obia and Mikel Arteta team are in the Champions League, they'll struggle. Because if you are more technical than them, they'll be more physical than you. If you want to be at par technical-wise, they also have technical players. Because football is not just technical, it's not just tactical, it's also more physical. So, go for a baby describing Moses Caicedo as a shin kicker. But then in games like that, you needed that. That's why I felt it was so wrong.
Maresca, Caicedo.
Yeah. That's why, no, but that's the examples I'll make. That's why I felt. Me examples. You
can't tell us what to do here.
Me example.
Post the catch us say two.
Say 2 examples.
One man catch
And also no analysis. No question. But I mean, that's why when Unya pushy Orange you need to go back. Then you are worrying the Madrid team because there's nobody there to do that job for him. And what's a big deal? Even if you watch the game that Barcelona played against Espanyol, physically Espanyol were better than Barcelona. The difference was in the technical strength of goalkeeper Juan Garcia and the other players of Barcelona. So that is how you get a job done against them. Madrid yesterday played exactly how Atletico Bilbao played against them. You give the football to Barcelona, they should control the tempo of the game, they should pass around. Ube chasing shadows by 50th minute, Wabre. In fact, before Madrid first goal from Rafinha, now Rafinha had a big chance from the same thing. So how the Madrid structure made them play, made it look like as if essentially Jude Bellingham will drop and come and play like an 8. So you remember in the second half, there was a time where Jude Bellingham ball now, because he's under pressure, he's not a natural ball progressor, he will lose the ball consistently. You don't want to give Jude Bellingham the ball in the ball progressive phase in Madrid's area. You want to give Jude Bellingham the ball in and around the opponent's box, in the physicality, in the box crashing ability to get a goal for you. So for me, it was wrong. Again, Eduardo Camavinga is good, but leaving Eduardo isolated, Eduardo a ball chaser, or the ball wherever the ball goes, you need more disciplined. See, only a disciplined player, you can't play a 6. You can't be Rice, you can't be Chimeni, Caicedo, but you can't even be Zubimendi if you're not a 6. Because most of the times, you need your cognitive ability. Outside now, all kind of story of Pap Cis from Senegal. One of the best 6s that he gets in world football today at Villarreal. Yeah. Like how to read a game. Pap Gueye, solid,
brilliant.
On the ball, off the ball. You need that. So if you don't have that ability and you just take the only player that has that in you, I was thinking that with respect to that, Abian Madrid will also be very arrogant and throw in Dani Ceballos to start a game. So that you have a natural ball progressor. Then say Madrid in your ball now. They also have people who can hold on to the ball and then force Barca to retreat and then also have possession. But only you will kita ball now. Jubele in your ball no beso the konenim. Plus, you are using Federico Valverde off the wing. When does he come in? When does he go out? I think that Xabi Alonso had it wrong. Maybe it was the occasion. Maybe it was because when they can't Hansi afflict this season. So he overthought the game. It should have been a simple game, just like against Atletico de Madrid. Mbappe out, Tchouameni in the middle, Eduardo Camavinga, what's his name? Federico Valverde as right back, but then he inverts into the middle, add up to Jude Bellingham. Let them work hard for the team. Then play a back 3 without them. Don't let Carreras go forward. Let Vinicius Jr. be there. Because essentially the threat of Madrid throughout the game was Vinicius Jr. When the ball goes outward. And that's what, see, I've said it several times that in modern day football today, there are only a few and do 2. And only a better wide creators than Vini from the left-hand side. Maybe Mohamed Salah. If you're looking at general wide creators, maybe Mohamed Salah. Now, Rafinha is doing well.
Luis Diaz.
Lamine Yamal. Even Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz is on the level of Vini. See.
Yeah. But they're not sure more back into the frame. You could mention.
Yeah, of course. But Rafinha, what's the name? Vini Jr., Salah. At some point, Rafael Leao, but then he's inconsistent. We're like miles ahead of the pack. Vini knew what to do with the ball. Look at Enra. 1v1 with Jules Koundé, and that's where you need Vini. Throughout the game, my worry was that how would the ball get to Vini in that area? Because we have Vini in the final third, 1v1 or at least 2v1 in transition with Vini for him to do something. And it was just one clearance from Orien Chimeni at centre back. So imagine if Orien was making those clearances at midfield. He will constantly find Gonzalo Garcia. Gonzalo Garcia and him say, Ninya, he's a striker, so do boxing. So his job is not to carry the ball. He will lay the pass to Vini Jr. and then run onto the box. Occupy the 2 centre backs, Kubasi, Eric Garcia, then Vini does his job. I thought Vini was going to play across the face of goal to Garcia, but he did not. Because on him say, yeah, Jules Koundé, but on a good day, he can always sit Jules Koundé down. And that's exactly what he did to him. I think it was a wrong one from them as well. So the tactical part of it, and I also think that Hansi Flick has done something that is not spoken about enough. Almost every time in football, there is an overemphasis these days, maybe because of some of us on the tactical part of the game, technical part of the game. So there is a less emphasis on the personnel management of teams. The man management, it is lost. And just when Rafinha finished the game, it took my mind back to Deportivo Alaves. Barca had finished playing against Alaves. They had won the game. But Hansi Flake was distraught on Akomeah. And Rafinha walks up to him and told him, say, you should not worry. He knows that he didn't play well. But the confidence that he bestowed on them, he should have that same confidence they'll play well. 10 games since then. Every game that Rafinha started, he has either scored or assisted and they've won. Espanyol, Alaves, Bilbao, Atletico de Madrid, Real Madrid. I mean, name it. Everybody. Oba Obeji. And the main guy has been Rafinha. The story of Rafinha essentially also points to the fact that he was almost out of Barcelona until Hansi Flake came and said, see, I want you. You will be important in my set. So come and let's play the game. He's not even playing his right position. Sebastian Yambone from the left-hand side. It's Alejandro Balde that keeps the weight. Just so to give space and time for Rafinha to use his physicality and athleticism in the half spaces and then force you back. So again, it's even wrong. Say one pressing, he will come at you. And you are going to be in a lot of trouble. I think that Barca are just so good with Rafinha, Lewandowski, and Lamine. And it wasn't a Lamine day. It was obviously a Rafinha day. And if you are not aggressive against them, I mean, against Manchester United, don't like it when you give credit to Enzo Maresca. But if you don't play like how Maresca played against them, you not get the best out of it. Sometimes in football, there's no points. Say, there's no point. Say, Maresca is top. And on that night, he showed it.
Today, you are very lucky that Kiki is on the other side. You
are
very lucky.
Mike said, Xabi Alonso beat you.
Hey! So beat you.
Oh, I don't want to know India.
Oh, me did the aircraft spent at channel. I know. The Spanish one, the channel. Hola. Hola.
Hola, amigo.
No. Hola, Alonso. L'Exploratoire. Madrid. Est-ce que voir la célèbre what food? Some moment I see. Remember catch a lose so onya wotre. Yeah.
Endra Alonso approach to the game. Someone said Ninenije he was pleased with it, but then Fiifi was also in disagreements. And where do you stand with that?
I think for Alonso, he will be very happy after what he saw, especially going down on 2 occasions. I think for the third one, they could not find a way back. Yeah. And it can largely be based on the fact that a player like Alvaro Carreras failed to finish off some key chances. But for Real Madrid, I think Fiifi, there's something really wrong with them psychologically going into El Clasico games in recent times.
That's what this season.
No, I know they've already won that game. But some way, somehow, how they play, how they approach the game, it normally feels that they already feel defeated before they go into such games. Yes.
Yeah. It is true. Because Endra, almost every time you consider come on, come on, so. Yeah. And then the reaction I say.
No, but for anybody once you consider goal, you get
it. It's like it has happened again.
Yeah. Because
it's all starting again.
Yeah.
No, but they accept that this Barcelona team is good, unless you want to think that Barcelona team.
I think Real Madrid can literally match this Barcelona team boot for boot and get a result against them.
How?
But Madrid lacks something very fundamental.
What is that? What do you think?
You can't match this Barcelona team when you are playing with midfielders, defensive midfielders, or Chimeni and Camavinga. You can get success.
So it's more about the kind of personnel they put into such games.
Yeah.
Not the tactical approach.
I mean, the personnel sometimes from the tactical approach.
I know.
To an extent.
But majority have to depend on the personnel that they take into such games. Yeah. So it's all about putting in the right people within the right system to make sure they can compete. So in a nutshell, you can look at the whole Real Madrid team and believe that, no, this team can match FC Barcelona.
Of course.
But when you get into the main game, that is when they tend to falter and make a lot of mistakes at the end of the day.
Wait, Trent Alexander-Arnold, was he injured?
Yes, he was.
Yeah. Trent is injured?
Yes, he was.
Fully fit. Not fully fit.
No, not fully fit.
Yeah, but Trent could have played in this game.
I know.
Kenny Carvalho could have played in this game.
And these are games that you need.
Then you push Federico Valverde.
So it's all about the choices. And that is why I'm saying he's also scared. Fiifi, if coaches are brave enough, they wouldn't have to even question their selection 2 times going into such big games. Oh no. I've seen. Okay, for example, let me use Inter Milan and Barcelona versus FC Barcelona.
That season.
You know, any coach going into such a fixture would have thought twice about fixing Francesco Acerbi due to his age and pace. But he says, no, I'll go in with Francesco Acerbi. I want him to defend because he's experienced. At the end of the day, he was a person who actually made them qualify to the final of the Champions League. So these are things I believe Alonso should learn and grow from. I think he's not confident enough in certain games. Personally, that's how I see it. It's not only the Barcelona game. I've seen games where he goes into such games and it looks like he's scared. So let me be a little bit conservative. Let me relax.
Are you talking about the game against Liverpool in the Champions League?
It's one of those games, and I think the game against Atletico Madrid in the semi-final of the Supercopa de España, he did the same thing. But unfortunately, Atletico Madrid were too wasteful in front of goal. And for Alonso, he is also learning on the job. I've always said it's Fiifi that Alonso at Real Madrid, for now, we can speak about giving him time. By such jobs comes with a certain risk that you have to win at least one trophy at the end of the season. It's only results that will keep you in the job. A club like Real Madrid, this is not Manchester United where you can be 15th and you still keep your job.
How come you won?
One, make a 2 pair. So you look at Alonso and you feel like there's a certain burden on his shoulders that I need to do something this season. Yeah. So right after the game, he says something like, this is not an important trophy. It's one of these stuff. You know, trying to downplay it to release a little bit of pressure from his shoulders. But Fiifi, going forward, there are 2 things that are at stake for Xabi Alonso. Either this moment becomes a catalyst for them to improve and win a trophy, or it literally breaks them down ahead of the next games, going to the final games of the season. And that is where I'm expecting Alonso to try and pick up the pieces and look at this Real Madrid. But if you have players like Kylian Mbappe in the squad, this is why I don't think there's going to be a catalyst for disaster, especially Real Madrid breaking down after that particular loss against Barcelona. Because the likes of Kylian Mbappe, they are hungry. These are guys who always want to.
But what trophy realistically can Madrid win?
I think for now, there's still Copa del Rey to play for.
Realistically, can they win that?
Yes.
Last season, they were beaten to.
Yes, they were beaten, but this time around, they can do it. But for the league, you know, I've always said that Barcelona is going to win the league.
Okay, then the Champions League.
The Champions League, difficult. I don't think Alonso.
So Madrid, Alonso first season Copa del Rey.
Copa del Rey. Would you call that a success or a failure?
For Real Madrid standard, a failure. But for Alonso, just maybe.
I do not agree when you people say for Real Madrid standard.
Why?
No,
that's their standard.
See, when he says
no, Fee.
Per the club, I get where you're coming from. That when you say Madrid, it's Champions League.
Of course.
But they haven't been every year. It's not an annual thing where Madrid wins it. You see, it comes down to all of these problems that Manchester United has. You cannot say that.
I don't mention that. We mention
No. But I'm referencing something. It gets to a point where the club has to go through it. Madrid has to go through it. See, Barcelona, to an extent, had to go through the Europa League.
You know why?
Calm down. Let me make my point first. So it gets to a point where if Madrid is winning just the Copa del Rey, to fix the midfield problems that they had this season in the summer, there is no problem. It doesn't mean that you should go and press panic button and sack Alonso, bring in another manager to come and start from ground zero again. Then,
where Florentino Perez sees the team and how the fans see the team, we analysts, how we see the team, they are totally different.
Of course.
And I've already spoken about standards, reality, and expectations. These are 3 things we need to understand right here. For Real Madrid standard, Fiifi, there's no way, no matter who is there, even if you are Pep Guardiola and you're in this Real Madrid setup, at the end of the season, you'll be judged based on the number of trophies you've actually won.
No
because
problem.
They believe they're going into the market to bring you the best of the best.
But you've not brought the best this season.
I know. But they've gone into the market. They believe, but Fiifi, to be very honest with you, how Real Madrid took the lead in the league at some point in time, I was expecting them to do better than what they've done now.
No, but Madrid have had worse injuries than they had last season.
I understand that perfectly.
So no, you cannot understand
but
and still expect them to perform at the same level.
It depends on the context of the discussion we are having right now.
How is it that Madrid, out of the 20 games or so that Madrid have played in the league, there's just about 6 or so of them that they've had their senior centre backs in there. A big problem.
Fiifi, it is a big problem.
You can't go and take Xabi Alonso from Bayern for Leverkusen playing the German Bundesliga.
But Fiifi, there are certain games where Madrid can't literally go in, come back and come and give an excuse that they've lost the game because they don't have 2 senior centre backs playing. There are certain games where Madrid have gone in, they've actually drawn those games.
But Madrid has beaten Barcelona in the league.
Barcelona and Ankasa so brave. They also had issues at some point in time.
No problem.
But they've been able to fight tooth and nail.
Exactly. Do you know why?
And they are where they are.
Exactly, because Barcelona have kept with the manager who had the same injuries or similar last season to the same today. Barcelona fans, he's here, kept on saying that yes, I can't see Rita Flick.
3 weeks ago,
no. They say Barcelona fans. After 3 weeks ago, after the Chelsea game, every Barcelona after the Chelsea game, most Barcelona fans were calling for the head of. Yes. After the Chelsea game, Barca fans. I am saying from my point of view, maybe you did not see it.
No, I did not see it.
No problem, and granted, you can have your thoughts.
Thank you very much.
No problem. I'm saying that Barcelona fans called for the head of Hansi because at the end of the day, almost Chelsea are show. Before the
now, I think for Alonso and the Real Madrid project they want to do, he might be given time or not, but it totally depends on the trophy he's going to win at the end of the season.
And it is like
whether they had bad moments or good moments. Real Madrid actually as a club, they believe when it gets to this stage of the season, this is where they hit up a lot of things. Now you have Rudiger back. You have Alaba back.
Rudiger is not even back.
Rudiger more Atletico Madrid game.
I know a good player.
Alonso back.
Alonso Ben.
Alaba
is center back. Akomeah says,
no, you use the word.
You
use the word.
People are glossing.
Fifi, don't go
over
back to your word.
issues.
You said something like senior center backs.
Alaba center back. Alaba center back.
Alaba Real Madrid obo say.
Alaba center back.
Bibusa Real Madrid obo say.
Onye bi money center back.
Yes, Real Madrid obo say.
Alaba center back. Federico Valverde is center or a fullback.
Only fullback.
Exactly.
Alaba uko Real Madrid obo center back.
Rich. And now uko Real Madrid Federico Valverde obo fullback or a fullback.
Is it Real Madrid center back sabe Alaba efrim?
Onye center back.
Senior center backs na Real Madrid near him.
Rudiger. And then is the same. United.
Only a senior center back.
No, the senior just said, wow, 10 years old. No.
Also,
if somebody talks, say, somebody be senior today, they work for one to me. Say, Obi free one or no Baba CR. At that point in time, if another junior comes, he's a senior to them. Oh, now it's okay. I didn't say no, but that's what make I don't hear na. Uniana ya wo odi na chi no. Oba se no honom. Ebi na onua penny wo honom. Ya wo mu ka ekira ha. O ye senior to that person.
It was senior center back.
Yes.
The one was so no kwa balance as a center back Madrid.
Exactly. So when you're looking at
center backs.
The boys don't go for movie academy. Boys don't go for movie. So Madrid so what you guys are even saying even encompasses the problem of Barcelona. Boy, Tina make Canada
Erula encompassing.
They divided.
Asima Americano. It even encompasses the whole issue of Real Madrid because there's nobody. There's no center back.
And I say,
see. Listen to what I'm saying because you are not saying. Oh,
the other kind of here.
They say, "Sorry, Miss Minutes became some man can at the end of the so, maybe say me tie. Maybe say me tie. Maybe say now will be ignore us. I change now was what you me feel that. Over tie was a me feel. But what I'm trying to say is that there's no center back at Barcelona, at Madrid. There's no proper one. January they've been linked to Gay, Konate, Saliba, Upamecano, a lot of them. So you cannot tell me say Pap Gay is at Villarreal. If you're Real Madrid, you buy players to put in the team. Okay. And they're saying that Alonso will be a failure or not. It's not for me. Okay, well, you can't thought. It's not dependent on trophies.
It is dependent on trophies. For Madrid, this is not the first time Real Madrid have gone into this particular situation with centre backs not being available. And I've always said, Alonso is smarter. He should understand, say, Obi Obetima want to save the job of centre back or pay Tromeni.
I don't think so.
Me, I think so because I've seen Carlo Ancelotti do that.
He did not succeed last season.
Fifi.
Succeeded here, Bono left right centre.
Mekai season even not Tony Cruz. No, what the trophyless no to season be not Tony Cruz crampo ball almost is not the traumatic ball center back.
Because there is Tony Cruz and Modric.
And now no maybe when they say Real Madrid set up new Kutomo in their midfield.
Yeah.
So you traumatic crowd and the center back. Actually, there are boys like Adagula, there are boys like
there is a 10.
No, Eduardo Camavinga. These
Camavinga is an attacking 8 box to box.
Fiifi, Ubayan attacking 8 box to box.
Ceballos,
but the biggest problem of Real Madrid, from a number 6, I mean, who do is not the ability to defend off the ball. You and I, we know.
No problem.
It's the ability to say, Omo build it from the back. As 6, ni beti mi afabo.
But even when Chimeni goes to center back, who builds the 6?
Adagula and Trump, Camavinga and Timifa.
Adagula 6.
Fiifi, and Real Madrid, and Omabo Kegu.
Exactly. Now you say Madrid recruitment.
And Omabo Kegu. But maybe I'm Mijina.
See, Akomeah, let me tell you.
See Alonso one trophy. He's a failure.
Real Madrid is a club that it is difficult for people to criticize what Florentino Perez has done because of the pedigree as a person. It's clear.
Achievement.
But that's the meaning of pedigree. But Inka just what he has done in terms of recruitment in the last 3 years has been shambolic.
For the last 3 years, no.
Barca do not have money. Count the number of players that Barca have brought into their team, whether with money or without money. I can count about almost 10 players from Barca's academy who have come in the Bernal, Casado, Rashford is from loan, Fermin Lopez, Pedri, like all of these boys. They knew that they don't have money. Kubasi, they've brought these boys in to come and play. Madrid Wuska. They are either getting it wrong on the transfer markets. Look at the wastage of money on Hendrik. No points. Adagule, Mbappe snap.
You think they've wasted money on Franco Mastantuano?
Not Mastantuano. That's I've not mentioned his name. Adagule came in, sat on the bench for a whole season. You brought on Franco Mastantuano. Mastantuano essentially is another box-to-box 8.
There's a reason why Madrid
needs.
I don't really get it.
Madrid needs something. Whether it is from academy production, what I'm saying is not about just academy production.
Fiifi.
Somebody gets theirs. Of course, anytime it's out. Whether we bring out there for academy production and Alberto, Madrid knows how to buy. So why are you not buying?
And the issue is maybe a Madrid need no. Also, who is a squad ne kutano no? Good.
Oh, Madrid squad are good.
Fiifi. Now we be to league way, Messi league way. Who be a Barcelona the 3 months 7 points, you know? It could have literally been Atletico Madrid game on Moko boy. Will you blame that on personnel?
What on personnel?
Atletico Madrid gave me a show more 5 for league. No? Will you blame it on personnel?
No.
Omoko ball draw basa be against. Why wouldn't him say grouse? Why cry la share boka say wedding? No. The baby will play you with Vallecano.
Vallecano.
We play now
Madrid derby.
Easy. We play
Madrid derby.
What's them? So these are baby Madrid
derby.
Aside that, Omubo game Omu show be 5. Omubo game Omu show be 4. Kylian Mbappe, as I'm speaking to you now. What's like La Liga now? One top scorer.
So you see again, it comes back to buttress the point. Say.
Batteries.
So
my kabasa semana. Edia batteries.
Any kind of minyaka say now will be edit. What I'm saying is that top scorer in the league in Kylian Mbappe, but still look at what is going on with you. So what does it tell you? Madrid's biggest issue coming into this season was not about Mbappe scoring or Vini scoring. It was always about balance. Attacking balance.
Deep line play.
So attacking balance, defensive balance, midfield balance, and what have you. The coach has to get it. Madrid in the summer were linked with Angelo Stella for almost how long? Angelo Stella for almost the whole summer.
Yeah.
As it stands now, there have been times Madrid have been linked with a lot of central midfielders. But for Alonso, Dani Ceballos went to Marseille.
Yeah.
Roberto Di Zerbi wants him because Obetima was 6, Obetima was 8. He's so important to build up. But because of injuries, he doesn't get to play at Madrid. And Madrid, the guy came, he has found ways to play with the best players and then hit the issue here. People always make this mistake about Xabi Alonso. Look at every game that Madrid played at the beginning of the season and there was Franco Mastantuano. They won every one of them. Because there was one person that was doing the job without the ball. And on the right wing, right? Yeah. No on starting with Digo Go. It's not Mastantuano. So, although there isn't enough legs to go, at the time, Camavinga crampo in your feet.
Yeah.
He was always working out for the team. Mastantuono also goes out of the team. The team lacks balance because Camavinga knew on Orange Chimeni Penacano. At that point in time, Madrid fans were beginning to tag Chimeni. So what's almost Obia Chimeni Nyade. Even after last night's game, Courtois also or Carvajal came to the defense. No, pretty much. Carvajal came to the defense of Chimeni. So you don't leave. And how old is Chimeni? He has played at Miranda as a young boy from Monaco straight. Came to not from Monaco, from France straight. Came to play for Real Madrid. So very, very experienced. You have seen it at the top before, but you lack balance. And that is the truth. You can't always go back to coach and say, "Oh, coach, yeah, man." People talk about Barcelona. Me, I've said it several times. When Hansi flick before Barcelona, it was a job that now they met a lot of coaches in Europe are no more yet. They won't take that job. It was a poison chalice. And yet, Juma. But you see, some 7 kwasi Juma no krano. Na Xabi the Agile. That's Barcelona team.
Yeah.
Xabi had won the league that season before.
I've always maintained a certain position that Real Madrid have always been arrogant in the transfer market.
Yeah.
For example, even buying centre backs. And I said to them, Lenny Euro, Money United, you should have signed him. Because my different coaches, different objectives. I still maintain my position. Despite that, Real Madrid have failed to sign a deep lying playmaker or a number 6 that could help control the tempo of their games for them. They have a good squad to compete and compete well.
And win the Copa del Rey.
So Madrid might have a very good squad to compete, but it might almost be an impossible hurdle to do it against Barcelona.
Definitely, because Barcelona also has one man who is causing a lot of differences within the two teams, between the two teams. This time around, it's not Lamine Yamal, it's Rafinha.
Yeah.
He did it last season too.
Oh yes, definitely. But I've always said one thing that, you know what I wrote the other time on my handle? Now, not every king wears a crown. And he's one of those players that you can literally see from that angle.
But this season, if Barca wins all the trophies and they go very far.
I think he's made a case for himself through his silence.
Yeah.
Now he is proving his worth to gain the respect. Not necessarily something that kids like Lamine Yamal shows promise about. Now it's not all about promises. It's all about showing your worth. And I think he has proven beyond reasonable doubt that he is the main man. The reason why I'm saying that is Fiifi, before the first El Clasico in the league, the Barcelona fans were literally sad or maybe not so much expectant going into that game.
Yeah.
Because they felt that there is no Rafinha, they cannot press or they cannot do a lot of things. So they were bold enough to say that when Rafinha is back, we'll beat Real Madrid. Yeah. A lot of Barcelona fans said, when Rafinha is back, we'll beat Real Madrid. And definitely when Rafinha was back, they defeated Real Madrid. Yeah. And he alone was involved in 2 solid goals. And Fiifi, I think for Barcelona, he is their most important player now.
Most important player now.
Rafinha is Barcelona's most important player now. There are 2 things to show your value as a player. In your absence and in your presence. Okay. In your absence, results might be bad, which confirms how important you are. But to confirm your importance needs to be done in your absence, in your presence. When you come back and the team turns around all of these bad results and start getting good results. Rafinha was out of the team, Barcelona was suffering. He comes back and definitely things starts to click. And the results keeps on coming. They keep on coming. I think this is a player and the form that is actually in now. Carlo Ancelotti will be looking at him, licking his lips and believing, where should I put him in the World Cup squad? In the Brazil starting 11, where should I put him? Is he going to play as a number 10? Because Fiifi, aside the quality that Rafinha brings into this setup, I think he's a true leader. He's a true leader. He leads by example.
For me, I don't agree with you that Rafinha is Barcelona's most important player.
He's the most important player.
But I do not agree. I think that Barca's most important player is one guy.
I said Jitumo.
I don't chair Madrid. Now they me foul the anyone Kofiana. I don't know tell the animal me.
I said Jimmy the animal.
I was maybe Jitu.
Into taking 1-1. Or say Rafinha. And then
Juan Garcia.
Why?
Exactly. I think that Juan Garcia, the same metrics. How you see it? But me can say I think.
Where's the deal? Why?
The same metrics you see. Also, you be judged whether you are important in your absence and your presence. When Juan Garcia was noted, you see almost every game that Barcelona plays this season, you Juan Garcia rating less than 8. And he has been more consistent than Rafinha. I understand Rafinha an outfield player, so he'll get the goals and all of that. But then Barcelona away to Espanyol, it was one man. There was Rafinha on the field of play. Barcelona, Athletic Club, Barcelona, Atletico de Madrid, Barcelona, Real Madrid. For me, Juan Garcia has been Barca's most important signing. And Hansi Flick.
Sapon, Chairman.
I want answer.
I
don't know, but I want answer. I don't know.
Juan Garcia and Rafinha. Emu diyan no press see free Barcelona team no more betchero.
Juan Garcia
Is a lie.
Never Rafinha. Fermin Lopez will get goals for Barcelona.
It's a lie.
Ferran Torres has more goals this season than
one player
Rafinha.
one player per free system.
Ferran Torres has been Barca's best attacker this season.
After Rafinha was injured,
Ferran Torres scored goals.
Not Fermin Lopez in you.
Ferran Torres scored goals. Ferran Torres say goals. Rafinha by ambassador saying ambassador tell
Barcelona system under Hansi Flick no more high line. You know.
And I'm saying
that it starts from how well they can press.
Rafinha by
and Rafinha is always a trigger.
Rafinha in chain
Rafinha
by another Rafinha
in the absence of Garcia, Barcelona really game that.
Another in the absence of Rafinha also really game that.
But me Akomeah.
Thank you for the word so sweet.
Yeah, 100%. Rafinha. In as much as Becca said, Juan Garcia Emma good performance. Barcelona, bro, bedam said, chasing them from the start and any man on buy or good performance. But where the involvement of Rafinha and what this Barcelona setup, Obian can just say only make a difference. Now the Inter make us say Xabi Alonso approach and manage one because of Rafinha.
Okay.
Xabi Alonso approach now or the bar again. No, the Inter make us say any best in Rafinha. Rafinha the other positional flexibility. O press no. O press Barcelona one here. O team switch positional play. Na be space in him. No be fabo no. O be me say can na ke press here. Say na on say me hwe me so be say me sra dey bi.
If was the first one be. On your chance but Kelly me ma no fa chen o.
Rafinha na dey
no but
no. Last season on Barcelona best player. He was better player than Lamine.
He's the most important player.
Important player of this Barcelona.
To those watching, who's the most important player in this
Barcelona?
That's all.
And also, will you call it a success or a failure if Alonso to win a trophy this season?
Thank you for the
let us know what you
success,
think in the comment section. And to the next one, I think last week was a week for one person in football. Unfortunately, not a Ghanaian. 7th January, not Odin birthday, 26th birthday, and that was his last game for his club, Bournemouth. Osher the last goal, and that was the winner for his team. And then the next day, on your deal to a club, obviously, of almost everyone's dream, because that's one of the best clubs in England. He went his first game for the team. On your man of the match, he scored and assisted. I'm talking about Antoine Semenyo. Semenyo, Ghana, almost a star boy.
Yeah.
Star boy.
In when is star boy? No.
Kudus remains Ghana's
why is he not yet the star boy? But
I think for the national team, the Kudus can crazy. Meaning say a trophy.
Egypt 2 goals in it. South Korea.
Damn, J Kudus di pie. South Korea Fiifi
against Egypt.
First game, the Kudus did not play.
Yeah.
But you could literally feel from the whole stand say, oh, star boy my. Then the next game against Egypt, he starts the game now. Pa! Net. Second goal. Pa! Net. Then you could see even foreign journalists. Fiifi, money to Obia, sorry, oh. Star boy. Oh, be a star boy. Man of the match, the Amano. Against Mozambique. In my day. And yet, Tama, Jordan and Obi free when Ghana lose Mozambique game. Tama could use free game. He did not score in that game. But the moment Kudus was out of the game against Mozambique came into the party. Every single person who was at the stadium knew this. I think for the national team, Anna Kudus dinner was making for himself. And the World Cup in the Korea, and once the first game it was literally bad. Yeah. Second game, the Muya then it was the same Kudus, Fiifi. And yet, I wasn't Ghana pay our standard and level. We need to celebrate. You see, Fiifi, I'll say this one.
That's what I'm
Who dey bomidi?
Answer.
Obara no say me no ja biara bomidi. Ejara oko frey space man
There's only one star boy in Ghana here, and for the Ghana Blasters, Mohammed Kudus.
Yeah, and me know ya.
So Antoine Semenyo, right, at City. With what we saw in the first game, do you think he's the best for Pep Guardiola's machinery?
I think Antoine is Ghana's most important player at the moment. Yeah, you can't become Ghana's star boy when you are not performing at club level. You should be able to perform at club level.
Was Asamoah never a star boy of Ghana?
Yes, and he always performed at club level.
A club.
When Asamoah was at when was at Sunderland, Saturday of now was St. John's. Was at Sunderland. Charlie Okasa, because now they just now you man I autocracy and you can repeat this amount. Senior, we understand how. A kaya it's me you. So for me, I think that as it stands now, Antoine, and Antoine has arrived. The onus is on Kudus to make sure that he will perform better and outperform him. Until we go to the Black Stars level and Kudus starts performing, as it stands now, Antoine Semenyo, whether I like it or not, I think that he's a perfect fit for Pep. And I've said that he's going to be Pep's most important player in the Champions League. Is it that?
No money is a combi for both. There's a 10-year combi.
Well, only Grimsby boy. Only Grimsby boy. I think Antoine is going to be important for Pep. That's one proof that I think Pep lacks in his team: the ball carrying ability of a winger for large spaces and also the physicality and directness. I think Antoine very, very important for him. Yes, if you look at the number of players that Pep compared him to, Oscar Bob, Savinho, who is injured, and the likes, it's a good opportunity for Antoine. I think Antoine will do well.
Wow. Sapon.
Said the boss you can.
And yes, said
the boss you can.
Okay, yeah.
It was the
Antoine Semenyo. Or be a good addition for Pep Guardiola Manchester City because of the directness, physicality. No ba Bobo Kwefe Manchester City team. I think it's a boy City or this season Premier League and both Champions League.
So if you were Pep Guardiola, right, a front three, no, if I'm not in the now why not in the account?
I just on your starter. For me, on your starter.
Into one of the boy ahead of him.
A star boy, your starter.
Haaland, Jeremy Doku na Mbappe. David, Jeremy Doku na Manchester City. That's someone underrating too much. Underrating too much. The ball no ball nye that bad na seman for who. So that the creativity no the babu of Manchester City. Third player no. Third player. Then they kakwe dey have seman bebu because baby, I'm just saying you're so bad.
That's a 4D shake.
Yeah, 4D.
Akomeah, on some fan started.
Oh, Semenyo. Let's start it.
I know how I never boy anymore.
I think for front three, me pick you or no. Ma pick Haaland. Ma pick 4D.
Nah.
Moment I'm pick you now.
But I'm still now. I think I'll pick Jeremy Doku.
It's a Pep Guardiola bit here.
What's English into it?
But game behind dynamics.
Yeah. He said Pep ni say or dan in games.
Game will be gives them a different bite.
Directness, physicality.
Even in the 4-4-2, say on a Haaland the more.
Yeah.
Okay, more right
away. Or the power.
I think a dominant right foot, right?
Yeah.
Dominant right foot. It's normal or cutting from the left are more dangerous. Yeah. But also both saying in cross, and I cross no here for assist.
Yeah.
I think Guardiola was smart. Guardiola, Antona, I'm sure say at least one of the big teams when they pray for league.
Yeah. Manchester United.
No, Liverpool. I've always been one person I thought Senka Semenyo should have gone to Liverpool.
Okay.
Because Fiifi, we have Semenyo and Kodiga promote the no more
year.
That's all. No, so Semenyo so you're changing Rico Lewis.
I hear there, but on say Liverpool got police
under Pep, Doku is not a starter. Savinho is not a starter. most of the times it is.
So I saying Semenyo will go straight into as a starter.
No.
I think it's largely what Akomeah said at the end, based on the game state, depending on the game, and that's why I think that Semenyo will be more important in the Champions League than in the league. Right. In the league, because Champions League are more transitional, there are bigger spaces. No team sits back for you. Teams usually open up to play, and I think he will thrive there.
Okay. For Antoine Semenyo is from a country around AFCON, maybe, but I still talk about the AFCON, right? And then we've got into the semi-finals of the AFCON. The quarterfinals, were you disappointed with any of the results?
Yeah, the Ivorian results.
Really?
Yeah.
And Egyptian team was short first, well leading, and you still think you are disappointed?
Yeah, I think the Ivorians have gone through a lot of radical changes since the last time they won the AFCON. I mean, it's been one too many. MS5, maybe if he wants to go through a period of transition, but he's doing it a little bit too much. I think that if you look at the starting lineup that went into it, it could have been better. Again, even in the course of the game, the changes. See, there are certain times where you need experience to guide you through. Yes, Enokre, the Ivorians have not had success against the Egyptians in the history of the AFCON. It is one of the most played fixture in the AFCON, but usually the Egyptians get success. However, I think this was a good time for the Ivorians to go into the game and get a success. I was really disappointed, very, very much disappointed about that game.
Mike, Nigeria had a perfect revenge against Algeria. Real Madrid the last time, and that was one of the games actually one-sided game. Do you think it's time for Nigeria now? Can anything stop them?
I don't think so. I think Nigeria might be winning their fourth AFCON title. They're absolutely brilliant in every phase of their game. And I think I've watched the Nigerian team. And last year, they played the final of the AFCON. I think this team is better than last year, what we watched.
Yeah.
Back in Ivory Coast. This is a really strong and determinant Ivory Coast team. You know, in Ivory Coast...
Nigerian.
In Ivory Coast, during the AFCON last year, what Nigeria did was, let's keep it tight. Be more physical. Then float balls up the pitch to Victor Osimhen. A hold-up play. Then Ademola Lookman will occupy the spaces that Victor Osimhen would drop the centre-backs of the defensive out from. So a game like against Cameroon, I saw that thing go on. The same thing happened against Ivory Coast in the final. But I think the most difficult thing they faced was Ika and Kosunu did not allow Victor Osimhen to get to the first box.
Yeah.
And Nigeria looked off the pace. But with this new Nigeria team, I think they are tactically dynamic. They can change 4-3-3, they can change 4-3-1-2 within the same game. They can even go 3 back, where Calvin Bassey will need to stretch the pitch. Have one of the defensive midfielders drop in between the centre backs to be the third centre back. All of these things are happening for Nigeria, and I think if you are really going out there to go and meet them, you are not only going to face a Nigeria team that has Victor Osimhen, but it's a Nigerian team that can play you out of any system that you actually bring on board.
One of the things that people are not realizing with Nigeria is the strength of the midfield and how Frank Onyeka and then Wilfred Ndidi complement each other. In fact, I think it's one of the most perfect compliments that you can get. Wolf is an excellent recycler of the ball, and then Frank will do all the off-the-ball jobs for you. And one thing that's helping them is also the strength of Alex Iwobi, what I explained out from the wide area, is playing centrally. That boy can play as a 10, can play as a 7, can play as an 11, and he's technically very gifted. You see the goal that's was it Adam scored?
Yeah. That through pass.
It was an excellent ball from Iwobi centrally. Receives the ball, looks up, and then finds him. It was an outside foot pass. So he tells you the quality of the Nigerian team. To stop. There's also depth. I mean, this is a team that's the likes of Frank Chukwueze and the likes are still not playing. They're all on the bench. Ola Aina did not come this time. And that's the only part I'm not happy about, because Nigeria may win the African Cup of Nations without Ola Aina.
Somebody came to the AFCON without their former captain,
William Trustekon. This is somebody who has... Ola Aina started the Nigerian boys who really wanted to play for their nation. He just wanted to play for the country. But at the back, when you look at somebody like Sheyi Ajayi, Osazi, this is a top squad. Yes, they have issues with Stanley Nwabali, but then again, I think it's a very good squad. See, I don't see how the Egyptians can stand the Nigerians. I think the
Moroccans are actually playing.
Morocco versus Nigeria.
Morocco versus Nigeria.
But you see, Fiifi, where I believe Nigeria...
But see, if there is any country that has the arrogance to play the Moroccans, then it's the Nigerians.
Yes, of course. I watched that game versus Ivory Coast in the final.
Yeah.
Fiifi, the first 30 minutes, Nigeria was literally on top.
Yeah.
Until Edingra
Yeah.
I came in the second
And
half,
they
won his
almost
1v1 battles
Yeah.
and did 1 or 2 things for Ivory Coast to win. But for Ivory Coast, for Morocco, I think they have good players on the bench. Nigeria have good players on the bench. What Morocco have used to bully other teams in this AFCON is the quality of their bench.
Okay.
Normally, when things become tough, they bring in other players within the setup to free up Brahim Diaz.
Okay.
Because you have the likes of Yusuf and Nesri coming in. The other game, when they needed a grit in the middle of the pack, they brought in Sofiane Amrabat to come and match the physicality levels. But with Nigeria, if you are bringing in Amrabat, there is Onyedika who can come in.
Yeah.
If you are bringing in Yusuf and Nesri, they can also bring in Samuel Chukwueze.
They also have quality
And they have Paul. He gives them a different option.
Nwachu.
Paul Onatu.
Yeah, Nwachu.
The long balls,
Yeah.
crosses into the penalty box, height. I think they have the most balanced squad in the AFCON.
Yeah.
Nigeria.
Yes. The most balanced squad. And they have a very good coach who I think has learned lessons from the Ivory Coast AFCON, where he was coaching Mali. But I think another surprise that comes, the Ivory Coast team, I'm already disappointed in them with the kind of selections they took into that particular game. But for Senegal, my oh my, what a team.
But if Senegal don't take care, they'll be the nearly men against Egypt.
Yes, Fiifi, I understand that. But I think if you're looking for a more matured setup, I'm using the word matured, that is closer